It started with faint splashes echoing through the night. At first, Mark thought he was dreaming. But when he looked through his bedroom window, he saw figures moving near his backyard pool. He lived in a quiet HOA neighborhood where rules were strict even about the shade of mailbox paint. So the thought of someone sneaking in was unthinkable. The next morning, he found wet footprints, snack wrappers, and a broken pool float. Mark asked his wife, "Did we leave the gate unlocked?" She shook her head. That's when he noticed the latch. It had been forced open. The HOA president, Karen, had always complained about Mark's oversized pool being too close to the community walkway. She had even said, "It's unfair that only you get to enjoy such luxury." Mark ignored her remarks. Until now, that night, he set up his security cameras. What he saw the next morning shocked him. It was Karen herself, laughing with two neighbors, swimming in his pool at midnight like they owned it. Mark couldn't believe it. The HOA president was breaking into his property. But instead of confronting her right away, he decided to stay calm. He whispered, "You picked the wrong neighbor to mess with." The plan forming in his head wasn't revenge, it was justice. Mark took the footage straight to the HOA meeting. As he pressed play, the room went silent. There she was, the Karen, floating on an inflatable swan, sipping soda. Everyone gasped. Karen, however, didn't flinch. "That could be anyone," she snapped. "These videos can be faked." Mark calmly replied, "Your HOA badge is on the pool table in the frame." The board exchanged nervous glances. Karen forced a laugh. "Fine, I might have borrowed the pool once, but that's no crime." Mark said, "It's trespassing, Karen. And it ends tonight." But later that day, Mark came home to find a note taped to his door: "Your pool violates HOA appearance standards. Remove the lights or face a fine." Karen had switched from trespassing to retaliation. That's when Mark realized she wasn't going to stop until she embarrassed him publicly, so he smiled and said to himself, "If she wants a fight by the pool, she's getting one." But it wouldn't be the kind of fight she expected. For 2 weeks, Mark acted like nothing was wrong. He installed new pool decorations, which were actually motion-triggered sprinklers and blue dye dispensers, completely harmless but visually dramatic. He even adjusted the lighting to brighten the pool area during night hours. He told his wife, "If they sneak in again, it'll be their most colorful night ever." Sure enough, on a quiet Friday, laughter returned. The cameras caught Karen and her two friends sneaking through the fence with towels and snacks. They jumped in, unaware that Mark was watching from inside. The moment they splashed, the dye activated, turning the pool water into a glowing bright blue cloud that stained their skin lightly. They screamed, trying to wash it off, but it only made it worse. Karen shouted, "What did you do?" Mark stepped outside with his phone recording. "Just testing my new security dye for trespassers." She froze. The footage was perfect. Karen blew from head to toe, standing in his yard, caught again. By morning, the neighborhood group chat was flooded with pictures. "Why is Karen blue?" one neighbor joked. Another wrote, "Guess she finally joined the pool club." Karen was furious. She stormed to Mark's house. "Delete those videos or I'll fine you for harassment." Mark replied, "You can't fine me for recording my own property." But she wasn't done. That evening, the HOA sent a notice accusing Mark of public humiliation of a board member. Instead of replying, Mark sent them a link, his new viral video titled, "When HOA Presidents Break Into Your Pool." Within hours, it had thousands of views. Comments poured in, everyone siding with Mark. Karen panicked. She called, begging him to take it down. Mark said calmly, "I told you actions have consequences." The next HOA meeting was packed. Mark walked in with a quiet confidence. Karen looked defeated. Her friends sat behind her, heads down. The board chair cleared his throat. "Karen, after reviewing the footage and community response, the board has decided your actions were unacceptable." Karen's voice trembled. "It was just a pool. I didn't mean harm." Mark replied gently, "That pool wasn't the issue. It was respect." The board voted to suspend her from HOA duties indefinitely. The room erupted in whispers. Karen left silently, blue-tinted hands hidden under her sleeves. Mark didn't smile. He just said, lesson learned. But deep down, he knew something even bigger was coming, because when you embarrass someone like Karen, the story never truly ends. A week later, a new HOA president knocked on Mark's door, an older man named George. He handed Mark a letter. Karen wanted me to give you this before she moved away. It read, I took things too far. You taught me a lesson I won't forget. I'm sorry. Mark folded the letter and smiled. For the first time in months, peace had returned. Kids played by the sidewalk, the neighborhood was calm again, then his phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number, hope your pool's ready for one last swim. Mark froze. He checked the camera, no one there. Then laughter echoed from outside. He ran to the window and saw a group of new teens jumping into his pool, cheering, we saw it on YouTube. Mark sighed. Here we go again. Instead of getting angry, Mark smiled. He walked outside, clapped his hands, and said, enjoy the swim, but next time, ask first. The teens apologized immediately and promised to help him clean up. That night, Mark realized something powerful. The best way to handle chaos isn't revenge, it's example. A week later, the neighborhood came together for a pool barbecue hosted by Mark. Even George attended. The same pool that once caused drama now became a place of laughter. As the camera panned over the blue-tinted water reflecting the sunset, Mark said to his wife, guess it wasn't about the pool, it was about respect all along. And that was the final twist in this unbelievable HOA story. If you love the drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts. It really helps this channel grow.